The pyramid of Senusret II at El Lahoun, with its unusual weathered appearance, has become a focal point for a wide range of theories, stretching from the truly outlandish to the meticulously researched. This ancient structure, often misrepresented in sensationalized online posts, serves as a fascinating case study in how a single monument can spark such divergent interpretations, reflecting not only the pyramid itself, but also the broader context of ancient Egyptian history and the evolution of archaeological thought. To understand this pyramid, we must navigate a spectrum of ideas, beginning with the most extreme and gradually grounding ourselves in the realm of archaeological evidence, all while considering the historical backdrop against which these interpretations have emerged.
At the most speculative end of the spectrum, we encounter theories that attribute the pyramid's appearance to events far beyond the realm of conventional understanding. These ideas, often fueled by digitally manipulated images and a thirst for the extraordinary, are frequently intertwined with broader scientific narratives about ancient Egypt. But first, let's learn a bit more about the Pyramid of Senusret II, located at El Lahoun, also referred to as Ilahun or Kahun, in the Fayum oasis of Egypt, stands as a testament to the power and ingenuity of the Middle Kingdom 2055 to 1650 BC. While not as visually imposing as the famed pyramids of Giza, it holds significant historical and archaeological value, offering insights into the evolving architectural styles, religious practices, and socio-political dynamics of its time. To understand the significance of Senusret II's pyramid, we must first place it within the broader context of the Middle Kingdom. This period followed the First Intermediate Period, a time of political fragmentation and instability that marked the end of the Old Kingdom's centralized rule. The reunification of Egypt under the 11th dynasty, based in Thebes, ushered in the Middle Kingdom. Some propose that the pyramid's melted look is the result of an attack by advanced weaponry wielded either by extraterrestrial visitors or a lost, technologically superior human civilization. This theory often intertwines with the ancient astronaut hypothesis, a fringe belief that posits extraterrestrials played a direct role in the development of human civilization, particularly in the construction of megalithic structures like the pyramids. Proponents of this theory often point to other ancient sites around the world, such as the Nazca Lines in Peru or the statues of Easter Island, claiming they provide further evidence of advanced, non-human engineering. This perspective gained popularity in the mid-20th century, particularly with the publication of Erich von Daniken's Chariots of the Gods, 1968, which, despite being widely criticized by academics for its lack of rigor and misinterpretation of evidence, captured the public imagination. A related theory, often associated with the work of Christopher Dunn in the Giza Power Plant, 1998, posits that the pyramids were not tombs, but rather ancient power plants utilizing unknown forms of energy. In this scenario, Senusret II's pyramid suffered a catastrophic meltdown, resulting in the damage we see today. This idea often draws on perceived similarities between the pyramid's internal chambers and modern power generation facilities, selectively highlighting features while ignoring others. Proponents sometimes point to the precision of stonework in certain parts of the pyramids, suggesting it could only have been achieved with advanced machinery. Another extreme theory suggests that a massive, unprecedented solar flare, far more powerful than anything observed in modern times, scorched the Earth. This event, it is argued, could have caused widespread fires and even melted rock surfaces, selectively damaging the pyramid. While solar flares are a real phenomenon, and powerful ones can disrupt modern technology, there is no scientific evidence to suggest that a flare of the magnitude required to melt stone has ever occurred in recorded history, let alone one that would selectively target a single pyramid. It's important to understand why these theories hold such appeal. They offer simple, exciting explanations for complex phenomena, tapping into a desire for mystery and a sense of wonder about the past. They also often present themselves as challenging, mainstream narratives, appealing to those who are skeptical of established authorities. Moving closer to the realm of possibility, we encounter theories that invoke natural, albeit catastrophic, events to explain the pyramid's appearance. While still speculative, these theories at least operate within the realm of known natural phenomena. A large impact event could theoretically cause significant damage to a structure. The Chicxulub impact, for example, is believed to have caused the extinction of the dinosaurs. However, any impact large enough to affect Senusret II's pyramid would have left unmistakable geological evidence, a substantial crater, an ejector field containing material from the impact, and potentially even evidence of tsunamis or widespread fires if the impact occurred near a body of water. The absence of any such geological markers in the vicinity of El Lahoun, or indeed anywhere in Egypt dating to the relevant period, casts serious doubt on this theory. While earthquakes and floods were known occurrences in ancient Egypt and are documented in texts like the Ipuwer Papyrus, dating to the late Middle Kingdom or Second Intermediate period, which describes a period of social upheaval and possibly natural disasters, there's no evidence of a natural disaster of sufficient magnitude to selectively damage the pyramid's core while leaving its overall structure relatively intact. Furthermore, geological records in the region do not support the occurrence of such a catastrophic event during the relevant time period. The Nile's regular flooding, while crucial to Egyptian agriculture, was generally predictable and controlled through irrigation systems, not a source of catastrophic destruction to well-established structures. As we move further along the spectrum, we finally arrive at the explanations grounded in archaeological evidence and historical context. This is where the true story of Senusret II's pyramid begins to unfold, revealing a narrative deeply intertwined with the political and economic realities of the Middle Kingdom. Senusret II's reign, 1897 to 1878 BC, fell within the 12th dynasty, a period of renewed stability and prosperity following the political fragmentation of the First Intermediate period. This era saw a resurgence of royal power, marked by ambitious building projects, the expansion of trade, and significant advancements in art and literature. The construction of pyramids, a tradition that had waned after the Old Kingdom, was revived, albeit with some modifications. Unlike the solid limestone pyramids of the Old Kingdom, such as those at Giza, Senusret II's pyramid employed a core of mud bricks. This was not a sign of technological decline, but rather a pragmatic adaptation to the available resources and economic realities of the time. Mud brick, a readily available material made from Nile earth and chopped straw, as described by 19th century Egyptologist John Shea Perring, was a cost-effective filler. This core was ingeniously built upon a natural limestone mound, further reinforced by a network of large limestone crosswalls radiating outwards, providing structural integrity while minimizing the need for expensive quarried stone. This mud brick core was never intended to be visible. The entire pyramid was originally encased in fine Tura limestone, presenting a smooth, gleaming surface that would have rivaled the grandeur of its Old Kingdom predecessors. This casing served not only an aesthetic purpose, but also a symbolic one, projecting the image of a powerful and stable reign, a key concern for rulers of the Middle Kingdom seeking to reassert royal authority after a period of instability. In the 19th dynasty, some 600 years after Senusret II's reign, Ramesses the Great, a pharaoh known for his extensive building program and penchant for repurposing older monuments, as evidenced by his additions to the temples at Karnak and Luxor, stripped the pyramid of its valuable limestone casing. This act, meticulously documented by Flinders Petrie in his excavations at El Lahoun, was not an act of vandalism, but rather a practical decision driven by the need for readily available building materials for Ramesses' own ambitious projects. Over the next 3,000 years, the exposed mud bricks were subjected to the relentless forces of nature. Wind, rain, and the intense desert sun, combined with the occasional human interference, such as the removal of mud bricks for fertilizer by local farmers, a practice documented in the 19th and 20th centuries, gradually eroded the core, leading to the dark, weathered, and seemingly melted appearance we observe today.
Our story begins in the 1930s, near the majestic Great Sphinx of Giza. Dr. Salim Hassan, a prominent Egyptologist, was leading excavations in and around the New Kingdom Sphinx temple built by Amenhotep II. as well as within the Sphinx's enclosure itself. Amidst the expected finds, something peculiar emerged. Stone stelae, not inscribed with the usual hieroglyphs or divine figures but with carvings of human ears. These were not isolated occurrences. Dozens of these ear tablets were unearthed, presenting a perplexing puzzle.
The material culture of ancient Egypt, rich in its symbolism and artistry, provides a profound understanding of the civilization's religious beliefs and practices. From the monumental scale of temple architecture to the intricate detail of personal adornments, every object offers a potential window into the ancient Egyptian worldview. Among the more unusual and intriguing artifacts are the so-called ear stelae, or ear tablets, votive objects typically made of stone, featuring carvings of human ears. Predominantly dating to the New Kingdom, these objects have been discovered at various sites across Egypt, with a notable concentration around the Great Sphinx of Giza. This video aims to analyze the phenomenon of ear stelae, drawing upon archaeological evidence, epigraphic inscriptions, and previous scholarly interpretations. It will further explore the social and cultural implications of these artifacts, examining their role in personal piety and their place within the wider context of New Kingdom religious practices. The discovery of a significant number of ear stelae in the 1930s by Egyptian archaeologist Salim Hassan during excavations on the Giza Plateau provides a crucial foundation for understanding these artifacts. Hassan's meticulous work, particularly in the vicinity of the New Kingdom Sphinx temple, constructed by Amenhotep II, and within the Sphinx's enclosure itself, revealed a clear association between ear stelae and the Sphinx during this period. These findings, as meticulously documented in Hassan's multi-volume excavations at Giza, are fundamental to any serious study of the subject. Ear stelae exhibit a fascinating range of iconographic variations, reflecting the diversity of artistic expression and potentially different levels of patronage. Some stelae feature a single, large and prominently carved ear, while others depict multiple ears, sometimes numbering in the dozens, arranged in rows or clusters. The quality of craftsmanship also varies considerably, from finely detailed and polished examples to more rudimentary and less refined carvings. This variation might suggest production by both skilled artisans, perhaps attached to temple workshops, and individuals of lesser means, possibly creating their own votive offerings. The stelae are often inscribed with a dedicatory formula, typically beginning with the phrase "made by," followed by the name and sometimes the title of the dedicator. This formulaic phrase is common on New Kingdom votive objects and provides valuable information about the individuals who commissioned and dedicated these stelae. For example, a finely crafted stele found in the vicinity of the Sphinx, featuring two well-defined ears and a depiction of Horemakhet in the form of a hawk, bears the inscription "Made by Hui." Another, discovered nearby and possibly the largest ear stele ever found, features a single imposing ear alongside a smaller figure of a deity perched on a pedestal. This stele is inscribed "Made by May." This May is likely the same individual documented in inscriptions found on the cliffs near the Khafre Pyramid. These inscriptions identify him as an overseer of works under Ramesses the Great, responsible for quarrying stone from the Khafre Pyramid complex for the construction of a new sun temple at Heliopolis. The fact that a high-ranking official like May, involved in major royal building projects, also dedicated an ear stele to the Sphinx, underscores the potential social range of individuals who participated in this practice, extending from high officials to, as suggested by the simpler stele, commoners. The prevailing interpretation of ear stelae, advanced by pioneering Egyptologists like Flinders Petrie and Salim Hassan, posits that these objects served as intermediaries in facilitating communication between worshippers and the divine. The carved ears were believed to act as conduits or receptors for prayers, ensuring that the devotees' petitions reached the intended deity. This interpretation aligns with the broader ancient Egyptian concept of divine accessibility through intermediaries, a concept well documented in the use of statues, divine images, and other cult objects that served as focal points for worship and communication with the gods. Petrie, in his seminal work Religious Life in Ancient Egypt, specifically connected the imagery of ears on these stelae to the act of hearing prayers, suggesting a direct and literal interpretation of the iconography. Hassan, in his excavation reports, further developed this idea, proposing that the ears served as symbolic substitutes for the actual ears of the god, effectively creating a direct channel for auditory communication. The presence of multiple ears on some stelae has prompted various hypotheses and scholarly debates. Wilhelm Spiegelberg, in his early 20th century studies, notably in the Zeitschrift für Ägyptische Sprache und Altertumskunde, proposed a connection to a deity with 77 ears and 77 eyes, suggesting a being of extraordinary sensory perception. While direct textual evidence for such a specific deity remains elusive, an inscription at the Temple of Khnum at Esna describes this creator god as having 77 eyes and 77 ears, lending some credence to the idea of deities with heightened or multiplied sensory capabilities. Alternative and perhaps more pragmatic explanations for the multiple ears include the representation of multiple prayers or petitions being offered simultaneously. Each ear could symbolize a separate prayer, either from the same individual or from multiple individuals, such as a family or a community. Another possibility is that the multiple ears served as a kind of fail-safe mechanism, ensuring that the message would reach the god even if some of the ears were damaged or defaced, a practical consideration given the potential for wear and tear on objects placed in open-air sanctuaries. The significant concentration of ear stelae discovered in the immediate vicinity of the Great Sphinx is of particular importance and cannot be overlooked. During the New Kingdom, the Sphinx experienced a dramatic revival in religious importance. It became identified as Horem Akhet, meaning Horus in the horizon, a powerful solar deity associated with kingship and divine protection. The pharaohs of the 18th and 19th dynasties, including Thutmose IV, Amenhotep II, Tutankhamun, and Ramesses the Great, actively promoted the cult of the Sphinx. They undertook extensive renovations of the Sphinx enclosure, constructed new temples dedicated to Horem Akhet, and erected royal stelae within the sacred precinct. The famous Dream Stele of Thutmose IV, for example, narrates a divine encounter with Horem Akhet, who promised the throne to the young prince in exchange for clearing the sand that had encroached upon the Sphinx. This royal patronage elevated the Sphinx to a position of national religious prominence. The ear stelae of New Kingdom Egypt offer a unique and intriguing glimpse into the religious landscape of the period. These artifacts, with their distinctive iconography and inscriptions, provide tangible evidence of a specific form of votive practice centered on the concept of auditory communication with the divine. While the precise details of the rituals associated with ear stelae remain open to interpretation, their connection to prominent deities like Horem Akhet and Ptah, as well as their widespread geographical distribution, underscore their significance within the broader context of New Kingdom religious beliefs and practices.